Hello, guys, and welcome to another episode of Government. Today, we're looking at the electoral system, okay? And in the previous episode, we introduced the electoral process, okay, and looked at suffrage, okay? So today, we are going to major on electoral system. Then we'll see electoral commission also, and that will be all. In the next class, we'll look at political systems, okay? Or party systems. Now, let us see a past questions as it relates to this from the O3 Schools app. Do not forget that this tutorial, this episode, of course, are brought to you by the O3 Schools application, all in a bid for you to pass your exam at once, okay? If you have made a conscious decision, okay, that you want to succeed at once, you do not want to write. I've seen people write JAMB 8 times, so it's not a child's play, okay? So please, if you want to get your desired course at once, you want to put in the determination and the effort to succeed at once, get the O3 Schools application, all right? It's your shortcut to success, all right? Although it's not really a shortcut because you still have to put in the effort, but of course, it's an encyclopedia of success. Everything, every material you need for success is on the application. Let us use the question search feature, a very, very important feature on the application, where we used to search for question after reading a particular topic, and not the question that JAMB or WAEC has set will come out for us to answer. So now let us quickly see a past question from this topic. It's a 2023 question number 10. It says here that the Electoral Commission that organized the 1979 general elections was A says ECN, B says INEC, C says FEDECO, D says NECON. All right. So we're going to come back to this question and many more at the end of the class and not before, because at O3 Schools, all right, we pride ourselves in giving you value first. All right, many of you want to give what you don't have. You don't know anything yet, but you want to pass exam as how now. All right, please ensure you pay rapt attention to these classes and download the O3 Schools applications for your own success. The app has everything you need to succeed in your exam. All the past questions for all the subjects are on the application. All right, is it the classroom feature that has all the lecture notes, so you don't need textbooks? Okay, is video lessons are already available on the application. You don't need to use data to watch them. You can watch them offline. Also, there are flashcards that enable you for quick revision. You can create a timetable on the application. The app itself will create a timetable for you. And then you'll be able to use all your syllabus to tell you what to read every day till you finish your syllabus. All right, amazing features. Okay, also the question search feature which we spoke about. Also have the mock exam on the application. The mock exam is a game changer because you are competing with every other person that is writing the same exam as you. Okay, for this year. All right, you compete in real time. You start the exam the same time, end the same time. Your result will be released every Saturday the same time, and then you'll be rewarded for participating, which is wonderful. Even before you participate in all the mock challenges, you must have gotten the money that you spent in activating your app. Okay, you must have gotten it times 25 sometimes. Okay, so please do not be stingy to your feature. Download the O3 Schools application, activate it for your own good. All right, and then every other thing will follow. Now, let us look at the electoral system. All right, we are told that the electoral system is a method by which voters make a choice. All right, so it is designed for what? For voters, for electorates to what? To make a choice. To make a choice between options, often in an election or on a policy referendum. All right, so it's a method by which voters make a choice, make a decision between options. Let's say we have Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, Mr. D, okay, who are candidates in an election, all right? So the electorates will come and pitch their tent against their candidate that they believe will deliver the mandate, the promises, okay, to them, all right? And then they will make a choice, okay? They will choose. They'll make a decision on who they're going to vote for. All right. So that is what the electoral system. It is designed. It's a system or method by which electorates or voters make a choice between options in an election or on a policy referendum. We also say it can also be seen as a process by which the citizens of a country, elect people that will represent them in government. So that's what you are doing when you are making your choice here. When you are choosing between these options that you have, these candidates that you have, all right, you are choosing those people who will represent you in government or who will lead you. All right. So that is also what the electoral system is, a method by which voters make a choice between options often in an election or on a policy referendum. All right, a process by which the citizens of a country elect people that will represent them in government. All right, so the electoral system, we can also say in a short form, that is a method used to convert votes into seats to determine winners. All right, so we have what? Four options: A, B, C, D. Okay, we say an electoral system is the method used to convert votes into seats to determine winners. All right, so now these are four options, four choices that we have. All right, so you vote accordingly, okay, according to your choice. Okay, so now these are votes, and then once the votes have been voting has taken place, all right, and votes have been counted, the vote now convert into what? Vote convert into what? Into seats. For example, maybe in the Senate, or maybe House of Representatives, all right, or maybe House of Assembly. Okay, so maybe parliamentary voting, or basically National Assembly voting, all right, or House of Assembly voting. So after votes have been taken, all right, they'll be counted, and then the winners, all right, will be announced, and it is according to the number of votes that they have. All right, so the electoral system is very, very important. It's a method that is used to convert votes that are cast by the electorate into what? Seats, in order to determine winners of what? Of a particular election. What are the characteristics of what? Of the electoral system? Number one, we have periodic and regular elections. So the electoral system should what? Regularly. So that's why you see that tenure. We see the tenure system, all right? You see that the president can only stay for 4 years, and then he can what? Come back again. 2 terms of what? Of 4 years. That is the maximum he can go. The governor also, all right? The local government chairman also, all right? But we have the House of Reps, the Senate, where you can come back as many times as you want. All right. So the electoral system is in place. So there will be what? Periodic election. All right. You can come back as many times as you want in the Senate, but it has to be for a what? For a period of what? Of 4 years each. Okay. So after 4 years, you can decide to contest again. All right. So the characteristic number one, periodic and regular election. There should be periodic and regular election. Also, number two, adoption of secret voting system. All right, so people should be allowed to vote privately. All right, there should be no interference, there should be no manipulation. Okay, these are the characteristics of the electoral system. Then number three, the elimination of the country into various constituencies. That is why you vote mostly in your constituency. All right, as a candidate, if you want to do a contest an election, you go to your constituency. All right, you go to your district, you go to your zone, and go and cast your vote. All right, so that your people that are backing you up will follow you. So the country is divided into different constituencies, into different districts. All right, so that people can vote according to their district. All right, so that is that for that. So the elimination of the country into various constituencies, all right, or electoral districts. They also have the adoption characteristics, the adoption of universal adult suffrage. Okay, that means that once you are up to a particular age, for in Nigeria, for example, if you're up to 18 years, okay, you can vote in elections. Okay, for Germany at least 20 years. 20 years, okay. India, 21 years. Okay, UAE, like I said before, 25 years. All right, so the adoption of a universal suffrage system, okay, it's also a characteristic of the electoral system. Also, the electorate should be given adequate political education. All right, so it is the function, okay, one of the characteristics of the electoral system to educate the electorate, to give adequate political education to the voters and the electorate. So this is the electoral system, and then we have different types. different types of electoral system, and this is the part that is very, very much well tested in your examination. You must not fail to not know this. All right. If you fail to understand what electoral system, you do not fail to understand the types of electoral system that you have. All right. So now, but before we talk about that, we have discovered that many of you do not support our endeavor. You do not support our course here. All right. You don't like our video. You don't subscribe to the channel. You don't share the link. Okay. Please, these are all wrong attributes. Okay. You should like the video. Liking the video will make other students easily find this video. Abi, you know what make other people pass. All right. Now let they do pass for. All right. So please like the video. Like the video. Click on the comment section and drop a good comment. Click on the share button and share to your friends, to your WhatsApp group, to your class group, to your school group, to your maybe tutorial group. Share. Let everyone come learn and succeed together. All right. Also, do not forget to subscribe to this channel. Subscription is free. You are not paying anybody to subscribe to the channel. All right. It's just for you to be notified when a new video has been released. Okay. So let's quickly see the types of electoral system that we have. Okay. The first type I want to look at is the simple majority system. The simple number one, simple majority system. Okay. This simple majority system is also called first past the post. Okay. First past the post. Also called first past the post. All right. It's also called winner takes it all. Okay. It's also called winner takes it all. All right. So in the simple majority system, okay, we call it first past the post or winner takes it all. Sometimes you may see it being called simple plurality. Okay, simple plurality system. All right, it's either called simple majority or simple plurality. Okay, so it's also called first past the post or winner takes it all. And in this type of electoral system, the candidate with the highest vote, the candidate that has the highest vote will be the winner. Okay, so here, candidate with the highest vote wins. Okay, so for example, Mr. A, B, C, and D contested. Mr. A got 27 votes, 27% of the vote. Mr. B got, let's say, 23% of the vote. Mr. C got this will be 50 already, 25% of the vote. Okay, Mr. D got 25% of the vote. Okay, automatically, the person with the highest votes will win this election. That is simple majority system, or the one we call the simple plurality system. Okay, it's called the one we call first past the post. Okay, this one we call winner takes it all. All right, so that means the candidate with the highest vote wins the election. And as you can see very well, this is it's a very unfair system. Okay, because just imagine, because Mr. A got 2% vote more than Mr. C and D. Okay, there's no vote run between these two. Because he's the highest, he just wins the election. All right, so you can see that it is very unfair. Although it has its advantages in that, number one, it is simple to understand. Abi, very simple, because if you don't get highest vote, you don't win. So it's very simple to understand. Number two, we are going to have a quick result. All right, and then number three, it encourages. Strong government. Okay, it encourages strong government. All right, so these are advantages. All right, and the system is kind of stable, so it is a stable system. It is a stable system. All right. So these are the advantages of what? Of the simple majority system. It's very simple to understand. Quick result. All right. It encourages stable government and what? Of course, it's a what? A stable what system. However, it is very, very unfair. It's very, very unfair because the person with what? With the least, okay, does not get anything. All right, so there's no overall compensation. So the least person does not get what? Anything. Winner takes everything, takes all. All right, so disadvantage is that what? Minority votes are ignored. Disadvantages: minority votes are ignored. All right, and then because of this, we have wasted votes. So many people, their voices will not be heard through the people that they are supported. They are supported. Okay, so I'm going to have wasted what? Votes. Okay, and then of course it can be very, very unfair. Like I said, can be unfair. Okay, so that is what the simple majority system, also called first past the post, winner takes it all, or you're going to call simple plurality system. All right, so now let us now go to another type. All right, so please, if you have not liked this video for any reason, do so now. All right, do so now, and God will bless you richly because you are somebody. In fact, if they say if you want to pass exam, pray for people who have been failing to what? To pass too. All right, so you will see God doing your own. So God cannot leave those people and not do your own. Okay, so please ensure you like the video. Like the video is very important. Then number 2, we have absolute majority system. Absolute majority system. This system is also called run-off. Run-off system. Okay, so in the absolute majority system, the winner must have more than 50% of the votes to win. Okay, are you together? The winner must have more than 50% of the votes to win. Look at the example I gave before: A, B, C, D. Okay, this one 25, 23, 27. I mean, this was how I gave it before now. 25%, 25%, 23, 27. Now, for simple majority, A will win. But for absolute majority system, A will not win. The winner must have more than 50%. At least we have 50% plus 1 vote to win. If you don't have up to 50%, you cannot win in the absolute majority system. All right. So, for example, now, as A got 27 now, he has qualified for second round. Okay, he has qualified for second round. C got 25, you qualify because C and D have the same point. So they will do another rerun again. That means Mr. B don't come out for the show. Okay, he cannot contest again. He had the least number of votes, and so he has been screened off. All right. So another election again. That's what we call the run-off. Okay, will be what? Will be done again. To what? To now see the ultimate what? Winner. So between A, C, and D. Okay. So if, for example, A got, let's say, 51%. Okay, the other ones shared the other ones. Okay, A has already what? Won. Okay, but if, for example, it is D that had the highest, okay, in the runoff, okay, D will be the winner. So that is the absolute majority system. Please take note. It is also called what? The runoff what system. The runoff what system. So in this system, a candidate must get more than 50%, of the votes, okay, to be what? To be declared winner. All right. And then, of course, if he does not get 50% of the vote, okay, another second election will be held. So second election will be held, okay, between top candidates. If there is no winner, okay, in the first round. All right. So this ensures that you must get majority of the vote. It ensures that you must get majority of the vote to win. So if you are not a strong candidate, you can be easily let off. Okay. So this is absolute majority. A candidate must get more than 50% of the vote, and if not, second election will be held between the top candidate. All right. So that is absolute majority. All right. Now, what are the advantages of what? Of absolute majority? Okay. Number one, you see that what is more democratic. Okay, it is more democratic than the simple majority. For simple majority, winner takes everything. But this one, the person still has what, another chance. Okay, so maybe the person that took second or third still has another chance of to show, to flex his muscle again. Okay, so but it is more democratic and majority support is ensured. Majority support is ensured, all right? And then, of course, disadvantages is that it is very expensive. It is expensive because conducting election twice is a disadvantage, okay? And it costs what? It will cost more money. And then it is time consuming also, time consuming. And that disadvantage is that it is time consuming, all right? So these are what? The disadvantages of what? Of absolute majority. It is expensive to run, and then it is also time consuming, all right? Now, we have seen absolute majority. Thirdly, we talk about proportional representation as the third type of what? Of electoral system. Proportional representation. Number three, proportional representation. It's just like we are giving 10 mangoes. Okay, you are told to what? To share it according to your age. Okay, your senior brother is here, elder brother, his name is Mr. A, then the one that is following Mr. B, Mr. C, and D. Okay, share within what? These four people in such a way that what? In the ratio 4:3:2, which will be now ratio 1. Okay, so now you know that what Mr. A what? We have what? We have more mangoes, Abi, because he's the eldest. All right, so that is how the proportional representation is. All right, so candidates' seats are awarded based on the number of what? Votes. Okay, that are what? That are secured. All right, so in proportional representation, seats are allocated based on the percentage of votes received or secured. All right, so that is that for that. All right, that means that what? If 3 parties or 4 parties, A, B, C, D, go into what? An election, and party A had more number of votes, okay, they'll have more seats. Okay, they'll have more seats. So it's proportional. Okay, it's proportional, but it is fair also because Mr. These two go see get. Mr. C go see get. Mr. B go see get. You understand? So it's kind of what? Fair, but it's proportional. Seats are allocated based on the percentage of what? Of votes that are received and what? And secured. And advantages here, you see what? Fair representation. Okay, and then you see that it encourages smaller parties. Encourages smaller parties, all right? But of course, the disadvantage is that we're going to have a weak government because our majority will be for the ruling party, okay? So disadvantage, we're going to have a weak government. All right? And then maybe coalition instability may happen also, okay? So these are disadvantages of what? Of proportional representation. Then, but of course, fair representation and encouragement of smaller parties is what? Is an advantage to what? Attributed to proportional representation. So seats are allocated based on the percentage of votes received or secured. Say Mr. A, B, C, and D now go into an election, okay? Mr. A got 70% of the vote. Mr. B got 2%. Mr. C got 8%. Mr. D got 10%. Okay, A will have more number of seats, followed by what? By D, followed by C, followed by what? By B. So that's what it basically means. Are we together? I hope we're enjoying ourselves. All right, please, as you're enjoying, like the video. Okay, like, share. Okay, subscribe. Click on the share button. Make sure you share. Let us get this video to at least 1,000 shares. All right. So that is that. Now let us go to. We also have mixed system. The mixed system is just between The proportional representation and what? And first past the post. That is what? The simple majority system. We have the mixed system. Combines what? First past the post and proportional representation. All right, it's a combination of what? Of these two. Okay, combination of first past the post and proportional representation. Now let's quickly talk about constituency before we talk about electoral commission. Let's quickly talk about constituency. Constituency, like download the O3 Schools app. Tell your friends about the O3 Schools app. Okay, so let us talk about constituency. All right, so your constituency. Your constituency is like an electoral district. Electoral district or ward, okay? That is what? Delimited, okay? For the purpose of sending, somebody to represent the interests of the people in the parliament. Okay, so electoral district or ward, all right, that's delimited for the purpose of what? Sending somebody to represent the interest of people in the what? In the parliament. So you will say that what? In this constituency, all right, in this ward, that's why you see councillors for ward 1. Okay, like from the grassroots level, okay, you see that we have councillors in each ward, okay, for ward 1, so and so person, councillor for ward 2, so and so person, councillor for ward 3, so and so person, all right. So in the ward, maybe 2 or 3 people may contest to become councillor that represent that ward, okay, in the local government, okay. So that is basically what it, all right. So in that constituency, all right, we have what? Electoral district or ward, okay, all right. That is what? Delimited for the word purpose of sending somebody. The purpose of having that constituency, of having that district, that electoral district, is to send somebody to represent the interests of the people in the what? In the parliament, all right. So the division of a country, take note, there are some of you may be getting confused with this word, delimitation or delimited, okay. The division of a country into constituencies is known as delimitation, all right. So when you divide the whole country into different electoral districts or constituencies, all right, we call that process what? Delimitation, all right. So please take note of what? Of that. Constituency is what? It's an electoral district or what? Delimited for the purpose of sending someone or somebody to represent the interests of the people in the parliament. So we have types of what? Of constituency, all right. Types. Number 1, we're going to look at single member constituency. All right, single member constituency. Single member constituency. All right, so this single member constituency is also called single member district. Okay, you can also call it single member district. All right, so this single member constituency or single member district is an electoral district that returns only one office holder. Okay, it's an electoral district that returns, because that's why I say single member, it returns only one single member, okay, to a body, all right, with multiple members, all right, such as what? The legislature, all right. So it's a what? Is an electoral district that returns only one office holder, to a body with multiple members, such as the legislature. Okay, so now in the single member constituency, all right, the constituency can only bring one member to represent, okay, to represent the interest of what, of everyone, okay, in that constituency. All right, so just like maybe you are sending someone to the parliament or send somebody to the what, to the house of reps or senate, okay, you bring one member, okay, just one person that will represent the interest of those people in the parliament. That is what single member constituency. All right, so it returns only one office holder, all right, to a body with multiple members. Not the legislature has many members. Okay, that's multiple members, but you are only allowed to bring one, to return one office holder. All right. Then number two, we also have what? Multi-member constituency. Multi-member constituency. All right. This one, two or more members of the legislature, okay, are elected. All right. Two or more members of the legislature are elected. Okay, two or more members of the legislature are elected at every election. All right, so in every election, two or more members of the legislature are elected, and then they are sent, okay, to represent those people. Okay, so usually depending on the number of candidates that are contesting. Okay, so all of them they contest, and then the ones with the highest votes, okay, are returned as elected. Okay, so that is constituency. Okay, we have single member constituency, which is called single member district, and electoral district that returns one office holder, multi-member constituency, where two or more members of the legislature are elected. Okay, so that is for multi-member. For single member, only one member. All right, so now we have seen the electoral the electoral system. We have seen constituency. Let us see the last part of the class, which is the electoral commission. Electoral Commission. Please ensure you download the O3 Schools app and activate. All right, please activate. Let's talk about Electoral Commission. All right, so what's an Electoral Commission? Okay, an Electoral Commission is an independent body. It is independent body. Independent body that is charged with the responsibility of supervising, of organizing and supervising election. They organize free, fair, and credible elections. Okay, so that is an electoral commission. Just like in Nigeria, we have our INEC. They are responsible for conducting free, fair, and credible elections. So that's why we say an electoral commission is a commission that is responsible for for organizing and supervising elections. So let's put that down. All right, is an independent body responsible for organizing and supervising, okay, the conduct of elections. The conduct of elections, e.g. INEC. Okay, e.g. INEC. So they are saddled with the responsibility. INEC, for example, in Nigeria, is saddled with the responsibility of conducting very free, very fair, and credible elections. All right. Although there have been many elections in Nigeria, for example, where maybe people had complaints, okay, but INEC should always remain impartial, okay, in all of its dealings, okay. They should be independent. That's why the meaning of INEC is independent, national, independent in there. They are on their own, okay. So their responsibility is to conduct, right? Conduct and organize election, free, fair, and credible election. Okay, and it of course it is the responsibility of the president to appoint the INEC chairman. Okay, and so it's a federal commission. The INEC is a federal commission, and they are responsible for conducting all federal and all state election. Okay, while the state branches, we have the state branches of INEC. They are the ones that are charged with responsibility of conducting local government election for all those who are chairmen and the likes. Okay, so please take note of that. The president is the one that appoints the INEC chairman, okay, which I think should not be, all right, because the president may be returning, so he may choose somebody that may favor him. I think that's one of the things that should be changed in the constitution. The president should not have the power to appoint. Let the electorate choose who will handle that responsibility. Okay, let them bring their CV. Let us look at their credibility. Okay, and then let us now select or choose who will be the chairman. All right. So the INEC, okay, is a federal commission charged with the responsibility of conducting all federal and state election. All right. The commission, all right, consists of the chairman. Okay, we have the chairman, and then we have one member from each of the states of the federation. Okay, A, the chairman. B, okay, one member from each of the states. Okay, in the federation. Okay, let me say of the federation. Okay, one member from each of the states of the federation, including the FCT, including FCT, and then we now have another five members, okay, that are appointed based on merit. Okay, please take note of that. So the commission comprises of the chairman. Okay, we're still going. Before we close, I want to say INEC chairman from the beginning. It is good to know them because you see them in exam question from 1964 to date. Okay, all those who have held that position. Okay, now so one member for each of the states of the federation, including the FCT, and then five members who are appointed based on on merit. Okay, so that is what the Electoral Commission, body responsible for organizing and supervising the conduct of elections. So now let us please see functions of the Electoral Commission. All right, what is the Electoral Commission charged with? What are their responsibilities? Number one is voter registration functions. Okay, number one, voter registration. All right, so INEC, okay, is responsible for what? For registering voters. So if you want to get a permanent voters card, it's responsibility of INEC to register you. Okay, and then number two, conducting elections. Okay, so it is their responsibility to conduct elections. All right, it's also their responsibility to register political parties. Number three, registration of political parties. All right, so I don't think mom to explain that one. So it is their responsibility to register any new political party. Okay, maybe new one, you want to form your own today. Okay, JAMB political party or WAEC political party, you go to INEC, you register them. All right, also it's their responsibility to delineate the constituencies, to divide the constituency into electoral district or ward. Okay, to delineate. Okay, that is to share the constituencies into into different electoral districts or ward. Okay, also it is their responsibility to distribute electoral materials. To distribute electoral materials. All right, so these are the functions. Okay, also announcing of results is their function. Announcing results. Okay, it's another function of INEC. Okay, announcing of result. Voter registration, conducting election, registration of political parties, delineate constituencies, distribute electoral materials, announcing of result. All right, also they monitor electoral conduct. Okay, so they go around, they have supervisors, they monitor the conduct of elections. All right, so number 7, monitoring election conduct. Okay, all right, so monitoring election conduct. All right, and then they resolve electoral issues also. Now these are the functions. Now very importantly, what are the problems? Okay, what are the problems of Electoral Commission? the fact that they are not truly independent sometimes is a problem. Okay, so if they are not independent, that means that what? There will be what? Political interferences. Okay, so among the problems, okay, problems, number one, I'm going to have political interference. All right, so you see what a lot of people was interfering in their affairs. Okay, and this is not good at all. All right, and corruption is setting. Corruption is also another problem that they have. Okay, sometimes lack of adequate funding. Okay, lack of adequate funding. Also, investing in wrong technology, wrong tech. Okay, just like we have beavers now, all right? So beavers is actually a good one, okay? But sometimes they may invest in what? In wrong technology, and it may it may just cause problems for them. Then logistic problems also. Logistic problems. Okay, it's another problem, all right? So even the public self not to trust them again. Okay, it's another issue. Okay, low public trust. Low public trust. Okay, so these are the problems: political interference, corruption, lack of adequate funding, investing in bad technology or wrong ones. Okay, logistic problems, low public trust. All right, there are problems. Then you see the functions. You must note them down. Okay, we'll see past question now. You will see how they are continuously being asked. So now let us see INEC chairman from 1964 till date, and that will be the end of the concluding part of the class. INEC chairman from 1964 till date. Please ensure you have liked this video, okay? Copy the link and share to your friends and loved ones. All right, copy the link and share to your friends and loved ones, okay? So INEC chairman. INEC chairman. All right, so INEC chairman, in fact, the chairman, there have been so very many since 1964. Although it was not originally recognized as INEC, okay? It was first of all recognized as Federal Electoral Commission, okay, in the year 1960, okay? So it was first of all recognized as Federal Electoral Commission in the year 1960, and it was finally recognized as INEC in 1998 by General Abdulsalami Abubakar. Please take note of that, all right? So it was initially recognized as Federal Electoral Commission in the year 1960, all right? But by 1998, okay, General Abdulsalami Abubakar changed the name to what? To Independent National Electoral Commission. So let's quickly learn through what all the chairmen that it has had. Okay, so it began in the year 1964 by Eyo Eshwa. Okay, number one began with what? Eyo Eshwa from 1964 to 1966. Okay, that time it was called Electoral Commission of Nigeria. Electoral Commission of Nigeria. Okay, or what we call Federal Electoral Commission / Federal Electoral Commission. That is what the ECN or what the FEC. Okay, so the chairman then was Eyo Eshwa, 1964 to 1966. Electoral Commission of Nigeria, so Federal Electoral Commission. All right. Then, of course, after Eyo Eshwa, it now went to what? To Michael Ani. Number two, it went to Michael Ani. Okay, Michael Ani held this position from the year 1976 to 1979. Okay, but that time it was now called what? FEDECO. FEDECO. Okay, it was called FEDECO, no longer what? FEC or ECN. FEDECO is also a Federal Electoral Commission. Okay, FEDECO. Okay, that was Michael Ani from the year 1976 to 1979. Okay, and then from Michael Ani, he now went to Victor Ovier. Okay, it now went to what? To Victor Ovier. All right, and Victor Ovier held this position from 1980 to 1983. Okay, Victor Ovier Whiskey. Okay, he held the position from the year 1980 to 1983, still under the same FEDECO. Okay, so that's for Victor Ovier. Now, Eyo Eshwa, 1964 to 1966. Michael Ani, 1976 to 1979. Okay, and then what? Victor Ovier Whiskey from the year 1980 to 1983. All right, they will now have what? Eme Awa, number 4. Eme Awa. Okay, but this one in this time does not call what? NEC, National Electoral Commission. NEC. Okay, it was no longer FEC or FEDECO. Okay, it was now called National Electoral Commission. Eme Awa held this position from the year that should be 1987, from the year 1987 to the year 1989. Okay, for 2 years. That time was called NEC, National Electoral Commission. Okay, then we now have what? Humphrey Nwosu. Humphrey Nwosu took over from what? From Eme Awa from 1989 to what? To 1993. Okay, Humphrey Nwosu. Okay, took over from 1989 to what? 1987 under the same NEC. Okay, National Electoral Commission. This is National Electoral Commission. Okay, that is what NEC. Humphrey Nwosu took over. All right, after Humphrey Nwosu, we now have what? Okun Edet. Okay, Okun Edet, number 6. Okun Edet took over from what? From Humphrey Nwosu. Okay, so that means to be for what? From 1986. So this is 1993. Oh, sorry, 1993. Okay, so Okun Edet took over from Humphrey Nwosu in 1993. Okay, and then he held this position. All right, it was, you see, under the same what? NEC. Okay, see, under the same NEC, he held the position for only that year. Okay, and then after Okun Edet, we now have Soma Dagogo Jack. Soma Dagogo Jack. Yes. Okay, so it was one that took over in 1994 and held this position up till 1998. 1994 to 1998. Okay, that time is also called National Electoral Commission. Okay, National Electoral Commission of Nigeria. Okay, that was what? NECON. Okay, NECON, National Electoral Commission of Nigeria. Soma Dagogo Jack. Okay, from the year 1994 to 1998. Okay, then of course we now have the inaugural chairman of INEC. The first chairman INEC ever had is what now? Ephraim Akpata, INEC inaugural chairman. Ephraim Akpata, number 8. Ephraim Akpata. Okay, it was one that took over from what? From Soma Dagogo. Okay, from the year 1998, he had the position from 1998 up till what? To the year 2000. He had it up to the year 2000. Okay, and of course, after Ephraim Akpata, you know it's now INEC now. So this one was under INEC. Okay, then after Ephraim Akpata, someone took over from year 2000 to 2005. Okay, and the person that took over was Abel Gubadia. Okay, Abel Gubadia, number 9. Abel Gubadia. Okay, this one took ahead the position from the year 2000 when it took over from Ephraim to what? 2005. Still under the same what? under the same what? INEC. Okay, under the same INEC. All right. Then after Abel Gubadia, we now have Morris Iwu, number 10. Morris Iwu, who took over from what? From Abel Gubadia from the year 2005 and held it up to 2010. I think, yes, from 2005 to what? 2010. Okay, so that is these are the first inaugural chairman of INEC is what? Ephraim Akpata from 1998 to 2000. Then Abel Gubadia 2000 to 2005. Morris Iwu 2000 to 2010. Okay, then we now have the popular person among all of them, which is what? Atahiru Jega. That one from 2010 to 2015. Okay, now have number 11. Atahiru Jega. This one from what? 2010 to 2000 and what? To 2015. Okay, held the position for a long time. Okay, from 2010 to 2015. Then from 2015, we now have Mahmoud Yakub. Okay, Mahmoud Yakub. Number 11, we now have what? Mahmoud Yakubu. Okay, that one held the position from 2015 to 2025. Okay, held the position for quite what? A very, very long time. Okay, from 2015 to 2025, Mahmoud Yakub held the position. All right, then after Mahmoud Yakub, which the current one that we now have down, the new INEC chairman that will conduct the next elections, okay, from 2025 upward, is now what? Professor Joash Ojo. Okay, Professor Joash Ojo Amupitan. Okay, Professor Joash Ojo Amupitan. Okay, so these are all the INEC chairmen from what? From 1964 till date. So now, because of time, let's quickly look at questions and we are out of here. Okay, so let's see our past question from the O3 Schools app. This is a 2023 question, number 12. Please hold on. All right, guys, sorry, my phone was running low. I had to charge it a bit. Okay, so now we have 2001. Yeah, 2001. Okay, sorry, let us see 2001. Let's see 2001, number 31. Okay, it says here that the Independent National Electoral Commission has the power to prepare and maintain the register of SA political parties, B say constituencies, C says the voters, D says the electoral candidates. Okay, so INEC has the power to prepare and maintain the register of what? Of the voters. Okay, so there must be what? Re-voter what? Register. Okay, that is what presented. Okay, so that is what option C, very, very correct. Let us see 2024 now, number 29. They say the independence of Electoral Commission, the independence of Electoral Commission is essential for, let's say, political patronage. B say ensuring impartiality. C says ethnic segregation. This is controlling military expenditure. Correct answer there is what? Is ensuring impartiality. That is the major reason why Electoral Commission has to be what? Has to be what? Independent. Okay? To desist from what? Political interference and be what? Impartial. 2014, number 32. It said that the power of appointing the chairman of INEC is vested on who? I said it, the president. Option A, very correct. 2023, number 10, says that the Electoral Commission that organized the 1979 general election, the Electoral Commission that organized the 1979 general election was ECN, 1979. Let's go. So you see from 1976 to 1979, okay? So is it what? That's Michael Annie. So obviously there is what? Is FEDECO, okay? So option C is correct. You must know them. Then we have 2016, number 38. It says that the credibility of the electoral process is enhanced by the existence of CC transparent electoral body, which is very correct. A say ombudsman, B say independent judiciary, C say D say pressure group. Correct answer is option C, transparent electoral body. 2005, number 28 says, in a first past the post electoral system, a candidate is elected when he records the highest number of votes cast. Very correct. B say obtains 2/3 majority of the vote cast. No. C say obtains 1/3 of the vote cast. No. This says scores the aggregate of the opponent's votes. Very, very wrong. Correct option is what? Option A. Records